and he's got that number 1 overall pick, and he makes it 3 straight players to be Heisman Trophy winners and be picked at the number 1 overall pick. So, Johnny, why don't you learn up Whisper Nation a little bit here on Joe Burrow?
Yes, we're back again.
Hey, let's pump up the volume.
Right here.
So we start with none other than Joe Burrow. And, a lot of people have told me since my Instagram photo that I kind of look like Joe Burrow. So, nobody's told me that, actually. But
you can imagine what it'd be like if someone did. It'd be quite the feeling.
Yeah. And look, Burrow is got the swag. He's got the charisma. He's got that Heisman Trophy. And now he's got that number 1 overall pick, and he makes it 3 straight players to be Heisman Trophy winners and be picked at the number 1 overall pick. So, Johnny, why don't you learn up Whisper Nation a little bit here on Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow, if you didn't watch him last year, you truly missed out. This guy was electrifying. He really turned it around for himself. Coming into the year, he was only projected to be like a 6th rounder and had that amazing of a season for LSU. Obviously won the national championship, and his draft stock just skyrocketed. So he comes off the board as a 101. You like the fit here, right? Cincinnati, he's got some good pieces. He's got Joe Mixon, hopefully, if he doesn't hold out throughout the season. You've got AJ Green there, who did sign his little his qualifying offer for this next year. You've got Tyler Boyd. They bring in and draft T. Higgins. So they really want to put the pieces around him to really allow him to succeed. You still have John Ross III, who kind of showed a flash last year. So you really have pieces here. You're getting an offensive lineman back that they drafted last year in the 1st round. So offensive line should be better than it was last year. So certainly all of the signs are showing that Joe Burrow could be very, very good for Dynasty owners. Now, if you're looking for redraft, I'm not necessarily going to be probably picking up Joe Burrow for this first year. I just don't see it with the amount of quarterbacks that are on the market today. It just wouldn't make sense to get Joe Burrow his first year for fantasy. But certainly Dynasty, I like where he landed. I like his outlook. I like what's going around him. He's got the ability to succeed. And we equated this. My NFL comp for Joe Burrow was Andrew Luck. So, if you're in a Dynasty league and you need a quarterback, you shouldn't hesitate on taking Joe Burrow. He has the qualifications to be a really, really good quarterback in this league, and I have all the confidence that he's going to be there. But that's my opinion. Travis, what is your opinion? You have kind of been a little bit different in this quarterback evaluation kind of area because of your dynasty situation, not necessarily having to take a quarterback, but at least intrigued by the fact of taking a quarterback. So what does Joe Burrow mean to you? What are you liking from Joe Burrow? And what's your confidence on a level of 1 to 10 in drafting Joe Burrow in a rookie draft?
I think you should be extremely confident, especially if it's a need on your team. I would say, anywhere from 9 to 10 on confidence meter in drafting Joe Burrow. And that is simply based on the fact that this guy's got all the tools. Johnny talked about the comp to Andrew Luck, and maybe you want to take that as with a grain of salt, and you want to be generous. You want to think people are generous. This guy's got the intangibles. He's got the IQ. He can make plays on the run, big plays outside of the pocket, but then he's extremely accurate, Johnny. And, we've talked about Pro Football Focus a lot over our 3 years in doing this podcast. And we've talked about, Patrick Mahomes being graded high, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and then these guys get into the NFL and they show that Pro Football Focus kind of has a good system here and how they're grading them. Well, in their 6-year history, Johnny, yes, it's still a young company, but 6 years Pro Football Focus has been doing this. This is the most accurate QB they've ever graded. So we're talking about a guy in Joe Burrow that puts the ball wherever he wants to. He knows that he's got limited arm strength. When he gets down the field, it does get a little wonky for him. Not too much, but he knows that he's got that, and so he limits the field to what he can do. He's very smart in his throws. I'm extremely excited about this marriage to Zach Taylor. We know that he's got the Rams background, which means the Kyle Shanahan background. So an up-tempo offense. You talked about the weapons that he has. Plus, the narrative with Joe Burrow is so fun, Johnny. He's a kid from Ohio, forced to transfer and go to LSU because he couldn't get enough playing time at Ohio State. And then he comes back to Cincinnati, back to Ohio, is the franchise quarterback for this team. And I think,
isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
I think one thing I want to do with these rookies in our rookie show this year is give you guys a little taste of the tape, because I tell you guys, I go and I watch the tape on these guys every time we do these rookie episodes. So for each one of these guys, I'm going to give you a takeaway. And my takeaway from the tape for Joe Burrow is that when he gets in trouble, man, his eyes stay up. They stay looking down the field. He does not get flustered. He does not look down. He does not hold it. Now, this has caused him to take sacks he didn't need to, but I would rather take that than him to force the ball or to force interceptions or fumbles because he's scared and he's looking down. He's always looking to make a big play, and I think he's going to do a lot of that for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.